Pixel art isn't just nostalgia anymore. Over the last 5 years, developers have been mixing old-school charm with modern design, creating RPGs that hit you right in the heart. These games aren't trying to look like a AAA blockbuster. Instead, they're proving that a few pixels and some good writing can carry some emotion. You've got the crunchy combat and the quirky characters, and yes, those chunky sprites that make you smile. Whether you're into tactical combat or emotional storylines, this list has a pixel RPG that's just right for you. Let's rank the top 10 best from the past 5 years. So let's get to it. Sea of Stars feels like someone bottled pure SNES energy and dropped it into your modern console. The combat takes cues from classics. The combat takes cues from classics like Chrono Trigger, timed hits, combo attacks, and big cinematic spells. But here's the thing, it doesn't just copy, it evolves everything. Enemies telegraph their attacks, forcing you to actually engage with turn, order, and strategy instead of just spamming your strongest move. The story follows two stupid children of the solstice who channel the power of the sun and the moon. It's a coming-of-age journey that balances charm with heavy emotional beats. The world feels alive, thanks to the handcrafted pixel art and an insane attention to detail. Waves shimmer, forests glow, and characters animate with personality. Even the soundtrack, partially scored by Chrono Trigger's composer, feels like a warm hug from the 90s. If you grow up on old-school JRPGs, this one's a love letter written just for you, but polished for modern audiences. CrossCode might stretch the 5-year mark, depending on where you count, but with its console ports landing more recently, it earns a spot here for sure. Imagine a Zelda-style action RPG, where every fight is fast, snappy, and packed with physics-based puzzles. You play as Leia, a mute protagonist navigating a futuristic MMO world. The twist? You're both playing a game and living a story at the same time. Combat blends quick dodges, range, energy shots, elemental abilities that feel weighty and satisfying. But CrossCode's secret weapon is its writing. Every character feels like they're belonging quirky guild members. Every character feels like they belong quirky guild members, rival players, and heartfelt NPCs that make the world feel alive. The dungeons are some of the smartest in the genre ever created by a human being, forcing you to solve environmental puzzles while still playing in the action. With a runtime easily topping 50 hours, it's one of the most content-rich indie RPG in years. CrossCode proves that pixel art can deliver not only nostalgia, but some of the tightest gameplay loops you find anywhere. Chained Echoes is basically one person's dream RPG, and it shows in every pixel. Developed by a solo creator, it combines the best parts of 90s JRPG into something fresh. Combat is turn-based, but layered with strategy. You have to balance an overdrive bar, where pushing too far makes you vulnerable, but staying in the sweet spot powers up your team. The story drops you into a continental war, with airships, mech battles, and political intrigue baked in. This isn't just a save the crystals plot, it's messy, human, and surprisingly mature. The visuals are jaw-dropping for pixel art, mixing large-scale environments with intricate sprite work. And yes, you can pilot mechs, because why not? Chained Echoes respects your time too. No random grinding, no bloated filter, just tight pacing and meaty content. If you want a modern game that feels like a lost SNES gem but smarter, this is the one. Eastward is gorgeous, like Studio Ghibli's decided to go pixel art. You play as John, a miner with a frying pan for a weapon, and Sam, a mysterious girl with untapped powers. This game mixes action combat with puzzle solving and heavy story moments. 1 second you're bashing monsters in underground ruins, but in the next, you're exploring a bustling town filled with quirky NPCs. The writing is heartfelt and weird in the best way possible. constantly flipping between goofy humor and humor and gut punch emotions. There we go. What makes Eastward shine is its world building. Tiny details like shop signs, posters, and NPC animations create a world that feels alive. Every new town feels like a place you'd actually want to visit. The pacing can be slow at times, but that's the point. It wants you to breathe in the atmosphere. Eastward is less about rushing to the ending and more about savoring the journey. Like flipping through a storybook you don't want to end. Octopath Traveler 2 takes the HD 2D style and polishes into a gem. Imagine classic 16-bit sprites living in a modern diorama world with depth, lighting, and particle effects that make every battle look like a work of art. This game features 8 protagonists, each with their own story, some serious, some stupid, ridiculous, and you can play them in any order you want. Combat is where it truly shines. The break and the boost system forces you to juggle enemy weaknesses and time your attacks for maximum payoff. The sequel fixes a lot of the first game's pacing problems with more character interaction and tighter storytelling. Oh, and the music, it's absolutely unreal. Big orchestral pieces, layered over pixel visuals in a way that shouldn't work, but they do. Octopath Traveler 2 shows how pixel art can be both retro and next-gen at the same time. It's not just style, it's substance, and it proves this format still has room to evolve. If Fire Emblem and Final Fantasy Tacticus had a baby, it would be Symphony of War. This strategy RPG throws you into a massive army battles, but keeps everything in pixel art wrapper that feels both nostalgic and fresh. Instead of controlling single characters, you build squads, little pixel platoons filled with archers, mages, cavalry, and much more bullshit. Watching them clash on the battlefield feels like commanding a tiny epic war. The story balances political drama with character-driven moments. And while the writing isn't always perfect, it nails the just one more mission hook. The game also has deep customization, so deep, letting you optimize units in a way that scratches the min-max itch. It's addictive, it's replayable, and it's proof that indie devs can take a huge swing at tactical RPGs and stick the landing. If you miss the golden days of GBA Fire Emblem, Symphony of War will scratch that itch, and then some. Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, or however you say that, is a prequel spin-off to the much-hyped Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. But don't let the side game label fool you. This action RPG blends fast combat with town-building mechanics, making every quest feel like it contributes to something bigger. You switch between multiple characters in real time, chaining flashy combos as you explore dungeons and fight bosses. But the heart of the game is its town. You rebuild it over time, unlocking shops, NPCs, and the story beats that make the place feel like home. The art style is a mix of lush 2D sprites and layered environments that feel almost hand-painted. While the story isn't as massive as its big brother promises to be, it gives you just enough lore to get hooked. Rising is short, sweet, and satisfying, proving that even smaller pixel RPGs can leave a big impression. Aeterna Noctis is often called a Metroidvania, but it leans so heavily into RPG progression that it earns its spot right here. The game drops you into a dark, sprawling world filled with brutal platforming challenges, bosses that test your patience and the size of your cock, and pixels art so detailed it feels alive. You play as the King of Darkness, cursed to wander forever in a cycle of death and rebirth. It's tough, like throw your controller tough, but every victory feels earned. The RPG side comes in through its branching skill trees, weapon upgrades, and gear customization, letting you tailor the difficulty curve to your style. The art direction is stunning, lush forests, crumbling ruins, oh boy, and eerie caverns that beg you to explore. If you're the type of who likes their RPG punishing but rewarding, Aeterna Noctis will keep you up at night chasing progress. Monster Sanctuary is Pokemon meets Metroidvania, and it works way better than it has any right to. You're not just catching monsters, you're actually raising and evolving them, and using them in 3v3 tactical battles. Each stupid creature has its own useless skill tree, letting you customize your team in wild ways. Exploration is equally important. Monsters grant abilities like climbing, flying, swimming, blowjobs, turning the map itself into a giant puzzle box. The pixel art is clean and vibrant, giving every creature some personality. What makes Monster Sanctuary stand out is its depth. Absolutely, building the perfect team and experimenting with synergies can keep you hooked for dozens of millions of years. It's not just the flashiest RPG, but it's endlessly replayable and scratches both your balls and the monster collecting and RPG strategy itch in one neat package. Live a life. Might technically be a remake, but it's such a resurrection that it deserves its own crown. Originally a forgotten SNES gem, this new version rebuilds everything in Square Enix's HD2D2 Tata engine. This game is structured like an anthology. 7 different stories across different time periods, from cavemen to cowboys to the far future. Each scenario has unique mechanics: stealth in the ninja chapter, wrestling-style battles in the Wild West, physic duels in the stupid future. The combat system stays consistent, but adapts enough to keep things fresh. The art style is jaw-dropping. Pixel art, characters moving through the lush 3D environments with dynamic lighting and cinematic flair. The soundtrack re-recorded with full orchestration, elevates every moment. Live a Live shows how classic can be reborn without losing its soul, and it sets a new standard for what pixel art RPGs can be. If you play just one from this list, make it this one. Pixel art RPGs are alive and thriving, boys. These games prove you don't need to have 4K texture or endless open worlds to tell unforgettable tales. All it takes is smart design, heartfelt writing, and few glowing sprites. Whether it's the sweeping epic chain of heroes, or the intimate charm of Eastward, or the rebirth of Live or whatever, each game here shows why the genre still matters. If you love exploring worlds where imagination does the heavy lifting, these are must-plays. Which is your favorite, boys? Drop in the comments below, which I'm not gonna read at all. And if you want more RPG deep dives, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.